Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. So I finally made it through all the results of each individual set of 5 rolls of the wheat pennies. And I've just laid them out here in front of you guys. As you can see, the wheat pennies are on the left, and then all of the non-wheat pennies, the memorials, are on the right there. So when I was going to do this initially, I was just going to give a simple breakdown by decade and make it a quick and pretty much just a simple video, just because we've already given the results for each of the rolls before that. But I thought, why not put a little bit more work into it, give a complete breakdown, and offer a little bit more of an extensive video on the results here. But basically, if you haven't seen our earlier videos on this wheat penny box, what I'll do is I'll put a link on the screen right there. Just go ahead and click that, and I'll take you to the very first video that we made when we initially found the box of wheat pennies. And our estimation there was over 2,000 wheat pennies, and we ended up being right. But we'll get to that in a second here. Just basically the long and short of it is, my brother and I, for about the last year and a half, going on 2 years, we've been doing coin roll hunting through a box of pennies and a box of nickels. And then starting this May, we've ended up doing 2 boxes of pennies and a box of nickels. And it turned out that one weekend, in just our normal pickup of 2 boxes of pennies, one ended up being what turned out this wheat penny box, a box pretty much full of wheat pennies here. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you the complete breakdown, starting of course with the wheats. And we ended up getting a few from the teens. There was one from 1910, one from 1914. There were 15 from 1916, 20 from 1917, 34 from 1918, and 29 from 1919. And all of those wheat pennies from the teens were with no mint marks. There weren't any D or S mint marks on those pennies. So there were 100 in total for the wheat pennies from the teens. Unfortunately, we didn't end up with any from the 1920s. But we did get quite a few from the 1930s. Again, there were no mint marks, no D or S mint marks on these 1930 wheat pennies. But we did end up getting 22 from 1930, 1 from 1933, 49 from 1934, 67 from 1935, 117 from 1936, 95 from 1937, 62 from 1938, and 148 from 1939. So in total there were 561 wheat pennies from the 1930s, and again all of those wheat pennies did not have a mint mark on them. Now the most wheat pennies that we found were from the 1940s, and there was quite a bit of variety in mint marks as well. In actuality, we had more D mint marks than we did with no mint marks. I'll just give you a quick breakdown of the results from years, and again I'll just put the complete breakdown back up on the screen as well here, as well as some of the images of the pennies themselves. But from 1940 we had 107. From 1941 there were 73. There were 84 from 1942. There was 103 from 1944, 76 from 1945, 129 from 1946, 248 from 1947, and that was the second most that we got from any one year. As you'll see later on, we got quite a bit from 1958 as well. But there was 172 from 1948, and then 112 from 1949. And we did pretty good on S mint marks in the 1940s as well. There was actually 45 S mint marks, and there was 544 with D mint marks as well. By far the vast majority of D mint marks were from the 1940s. Just going on, we also got quite a bit of from 1950s, some wheat pennies from the 1950s. There were 64 from 1950. 30 from 1951, 10 from 1952, 12 from 1953, 34 from 1954, 44 from 1955. There were 2 from 1957. And again, the most we got from any one year was the last year of the wheat penny, the 1958. We had 253. So in total, there were 469 from the 1950s. And again, I didn't mention it for the 1940s, but for the 1940s in total, there was 1,104. And again, we did pretty good on S-mint marks, the best decade Actually, we had 57 from the 1950s with S mint marks and 78 with D mint marks as well. So the grand total for all the wheat pennies, there was 2,234, so quite a bit over our initial estimation of 2,000. And again, when we opened the box, we basically just guessed based on the fact that there were, I think each roll, we could tell just by opening up the rolls that I think there was only 5 rolls that that did not have wheat pennies in the window. They had memorials in them as well, so we kind of just guessed maybe 5, maybe 10 rolls wouldn't be wheat pennies. But yeah, 2,234 in total. There was 1,510 without any mint marks, 622 with D mint marks, and then 102 with the S mint marks as well. So really happy with that, and of course if you've seen some of our earlier videos as well, you would know that there were some memorials in there as well. I'll just give a quick breakdown of the years and the totals that we got for the American memorial pennies as well. From 1959 there was only 1 penny, and that was a D mint mark. There were 11 from 1960, 1 from 1962, 3 from 1963, 201 from 1964, and actually these 1964 pennies were quite interesting. There was a number of rolls that contained all 1964 pennies, and pretty much all of them were in excellent condition, really shiny, really good condition. Some of them weren't in the best of condition, but pretty much the vast majority were in great condition, the ones that we got from 1964. And then the last 2 years of memorials, we got 4 from 1969 and 23 from 1970. And the grand total of that, there were 289 pennies that weren't wheat pennies. And then there was also 2 pennies that weren't American pennies actually. There was 1 Canadian, which I believe was a 1968, and then there was a 1967 New Zealand penny as well. So yeah, that's it guys. I really hope that you all enjoyed the videos as much as we enjoyed putting them up. This really was for us a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Let's hope not. Let's hope we can get lucky again. But you know, if you haven't started coin roll hunting yet, or you're looking to get into it, this really shouldn't be the only reason why you do, you know, to get a really lucky box like this. But, you know, we do just a box of pennies and a box of nickels a week now that we're in school. If you watch some of our earlier videos, you can see what we look for, but basically we're looking for copper and nickel, and then in any wheat pennies or King George, the 6 pennies that we get, or any 12-sided nickels or really early American nickels, any of that stuff is just sort of icing on the cake for us. And once in a while you're going to get extremely lucky and find something that you're not expecting, such as this box of wheat pennies. So if you add up the totals of memorials and wheats, you would notice that there was 2,525 pennies in total as well. So at the very least, we were 25 cents ahead of where we were to begin with. And in a box like this, it's great to have a couple extra pennies thrown into the mix as well. So that's it, guys. Again, I'll put the link up on the video to click to see the very first video that we made regarding the sweet penny box. Go ahead and click that, and I believe that there's links on the videos subsequently as well if you want to see the rest of the results that we had for this box. So thank you very much for watching as always, guys. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be great. Let me know as always what you think. I always enjoy answering comments and getting in touch with all you guys. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and we'll talk to you soon.